Just because you are a prophet does not mean you are seeing. Let me balance this now. So don't even make the mistake of believing. This kind of seeing is not a gift. This kind of seeing is a reward for doing business with God. You contend to a realm where he honors you. Shall I hide this from my friend Abraham, seeing that he will be a great man? This is a product of intimacy with the Spirit. No, this is not just a gift for your office. That man can walk with God, and out of the many rewards that he gives you is the seeing eye. That is why it is dangerous to leave the issue of God in pursuing wealth or whatever it is. That is already dead on arrival. For as long as Uzziah sought the Lord made him to prosper. 2 Chronicles chapter 26 and verse 5. The Bible says that in the days he sought the Lord, and for as long as he sought the Lord, the Bible says the Lord made him to prosper. 2 Chronicles 26 and verse 5. As long as he sought the Lord, who made him to prosper? God made him to prosper. Go to verse 15 of the same verse. Let's read the last sentence, verse 15. The Bible says he waxed great and he became famous because he was marvelously helped of the Lord. Until he became strong. We don't just become strong, we are made strong. South Africa, please hear me, House of Treasures, the body of believers. Excelling in this end time will be more than, it will require more than a well-intentioned heart. You will need to train your hearing, and you will need to train your seeing. There are many parents today who have led their children to paths that are inconsistent with God's program for their destiny, because they did not have the seeing eye and the hearing ear. There are many people doing business today that they cannot secure the favor of God because that is not the blueprint of God for them. There are many people today who were doing what God said yesterday. That's why they prospered yesterday. But God said something else today. I told you the power of God follows what God is saying. So if God moved this way in 2000 and I align with him, you will see increase. But if God has moved this way and I refuse to move, are we together? Apostle, I heard God. You are right. But are you hearing God now? The Spirit speaketh expressly. Please, those of you in ministry, this is not a pastor's conference, but I want you to please, by the mercies of God, listen carefully. Do not get too familiar with the pathway that was given to you yesterday. God is dynamic, and you must master the navigation system of the Spirit. You must know when seasons come to an end. You must know when your relevance in physical locations come to an end. Not knowing this can cost you. You can abort 30 years of relevance because you missed a moment of sight. Watch this. I hope I'm not wasting your time. Listen to me. When Jesus resurrected, Apostle, the Bible says the disciples who had been trained under his mentorship, they came quickly, because I want to show you now how to get the hearing and the seeing eye. Are we together? They came to the grave and looked, and they did not see anything there. They went back in fear. But the Bible said a woman got to the sepulcher, and she looked, and she remained there. She didn't go. She kept looking and kept looking and kept looking. And when she kept looking, she saw a man moving in the garden. And she said, "Where have they taken my Lord?" And she looked again. She said, "Rabboni." She wanted to touch him. He said, "Do not touch me." but you have seen me indeed. Now because you have seen, I empower you. Go and tell them what you have seen. Listen, this is a prophetic adumbration of what God is doing in the church in the end time. There are people who have not been mandated to go because they have not stayed to see. It is only the one who saw the resurrected Christ. Don't tell me I saw the crucified Christ. Congratulations. But we are talking about the one who has risen. She saw. The disciples came to the same location. They didn't see anything. But now, Mary stood. She waited. Nothing else was important. She stayed there. And her reward for remaining was that she saw. And she was commissioned by reason of having a seeing eye. Go to the disciples, the first person to announce the resurrection.